Welcome to the PD Coordinators webinar for July 2021. I am Wayne Crandall. I am your host today, and Olga Escamilla will be our facilitator. I dropped in the chat pod the instructions for if you have any audio difficulties. The number and the email are there, so you guys can go ahead and use those at your discretion. And I'll go ahead and turn this over to Olga Escamilla.
Thank you so much, Wayne. Welcome everybody to the PD Coordinator webinar. Today is July 8th. So thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to go ahead and continue with our agenda. So as usual, we're going to be covering conferences, trainings, and statewide events. We'll also talk about the monthly webinar series and share a lot of information on that. We're going to share assessment announcements, PD portal announcements, and then we'll have PD coordinator time. So let's get started with new training and conferences and state events. Our first up is Beth Ponder.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being here. The first thing we want to talk about today is the TWC Fall Institute, which is going to be August 30th through September 2nd. And we've been busy getting everything together for that. And I'm going to put the registration link in the chat for you. So it's there. And we will be having a pre-conference on the 30th. And then the regular conferences sessions will be the 31st through the 2nd. This will be virtual as well as face-to-face. So depending on who on your team wants to travel to Austin, they can attend face-to-face or it will be available live streamed. And we will be at the Sheraton Capitol in Austin, Texas. Next slide, please. And so as part of that pre-conference day, we are going to have a special session just for PD coordinators. And that will be on the 30th from 1 to 4 Central Time. And so we encourage you to participate either virtually or in person. And we want to take just a minute for you to think about what are some of the things that you would like to see covered in the PD coordinators session. So Krista, are you on?
She sure is. So while we're waiting, Beth, for individuals to kind of answer that, have been a couple of questions. Do we have an agenda of the sessions?
Yes, we have an agenda and it is on our website. And so after I'm done talking, I'll go grab that link and put it in the chat for you. All the sessions are up and listed on our website.
And then the next question, is there hotel information yet for state rate?
When you register, you'll register through Qualtrics, and at the very end of your registration will be a page that's got all of the hotel information, including the link. Oh, good. Thank you, Deb. Deb grabbed the link for all the information and put it in the chat.
Thank you. Now, Krista?
All right. Yes. So like Beth said, we definitely want to know what your ideas of things that you'd like to have us cover at the PD coordinator webinar or session. And there is a survey link if somebody could put that in the chat pod. But if you don't get it in the chat pod, I will be sending this link out tomorrow on the PD coordinator listserv. So please launch that survey. It's just a click and drag, rank what you want to see, and then there's some spaces for individual suggestions as well. So we want to know what you want to know. Thank you.
All right. Well, we're really looking forward to seeing everybody. I know it's been a while since we've been face-to-face, so let us know what you need, and we'll look forward to spending an afternoon together in Austin. And that's it, Olga.
Well, thank you, Krista and Beth. So let's continue with Paula Bauer.
Thank you, Olga. I just want to cover some literacy symposiums and some conferences coming up. In about 2 weeks, you'll see the Gulf Coast Literacy Symposium, there'll be a virtual event. It's going to happen on July 24th. And it'll be from 9 a.m. to 3:45 p.m., about 4 p.m. But it's free and anyone can join. They just ask that you register. And the registration link is on the left side of this slide. It's Literacy Texas Conference. You just go there to look for the symposiums and the events. Next, we have the Literacy Texas 2021 conference. And it is face to face, and it's going to be in Irving at the Sheraton Dallas Fort Worth Airport Hotel. It is August 2nd through 4th, and you can go to register at the link that's also to the left of the slide. And it will be just depends on how many days you decide to join us. Second and third are like hour and 15-minute sessions. And the fourth, which is a Wednesday, are 3 to 4 hour sessions. And we have a lot of our team that are presenting at this conference. So it'll be some great PD. Encourage you to register for this. Then the Pro Literacy Conference is going to happen in San Antonio at the Marriott River Center. So registration is still open. I want to remind you, you can get an early bird rate until August 13th. So you might want to go there and look at that because that doesn't come to Texas often. Then I also want to call attention to a literacy symposium that has changed its name and date. That is October 8th, which is a Friday. It used to be the Dallas Fort Worth Literacy Symposium, but he's calling it the Poverty Symposium because that's what it's highlighting is poverty in the field of AEL. It is now a face-to-face event. He's looking at the location, but he's looking at Arlington. So anyone in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, this is free registration. You just go on the Literacy Texas conference site and you actually look for the symposium. Then finally, I think the next slide, Olga, will be the National Center for Families Learning. So a lot of national events are coming to Texas. This one will be October 25th through 27th. The registration is open. They don't have an early bird registration, and I'm going to put the link to that registration in the chat pod for you, but it will be actually in Dallas. And but they do have group rates. So if you want to go and look at the group rates, there's the link right now. I'm going to put it in there to register. And that's it for me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Paula. So we have Anne Marie up next. Anne Marie.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And July is here, and TCAL is very excited to announce several things on these slides. And we now have available several different Standards 3.0 professional development training options that all of you as PD coordinators can request via your trained PD specialist. We are all excited to share this information and news with you because we've been working on it many, many months. And so just to review before we talk about the training, what is Standards 3.0? Well, it's actually part of the updated Texas Adult Education and Literacy Content Standards that we're calling version 3. And so version 3 introduces 2 new standards, the Parent-Family Content Standard, which we call the Family Content Standards for short, and also another standard that's of very high interest right now is the Citizen Community Member Content Standards, or is what we call the Civics Content Standards. So there are no other changes to the content standards, though, other than the addition of these 2. And I've gotten this question, so I just want to reiterate that the core academic standards, the alignment to the industry clusters, and the detailed work activities, that all is the same. The standards are just adding family and civics, okay? So before we talk about the training options, I wanted to give, now we're on Tech Intels or Teacher Tuesday. Okay, so as a quick reminder, there are a couple trainings coming up other than the trainings that are available through Train PD. So Dale Pillow, who is the designer and presenter for this training, will be presenting the Standards 3.0 training at Literacy Texas. And Dale and I will co-present 2 sessions at the Fall Institute, the TWC Fall Institute. So those are coming up as well. And when I get done with these 2 slides, I'll put the direct link to the new standards in the chat pod. I get emails about this too. Where do I find the standards? And the standards are available on the TCAL website on the content standards page. So I'll put that in the chat pod for you. So let's go to the next slide and talk about the particulars. So in June, we had a TOT. So, and there are several trainers on this call that went through the TOT. And so we developed a 4-hour standalone Standards 3.0 Family and Civics Content Standards training. And actually, all of these trainings can be done face-to-face or virtually, all right? So that's a very important distinction. But under guidance from TWC, Train PD separated them out. We separated them out. Dale and I separated them out into 3 different trainings. And so now we have a 4-hour option. You can request a 4-hour option, which is both family and civics, or there is a standalone civics content standards that's 2 hours, or a standalone family content standards option that's 2 hours. Now, the important thing here is that the content remains the same, regardless of whether you get the 4-hour all at once, or you want the 2-hour civics one day and the 2-hour family content standards on another day. We thought that this was important, again, with guidance of TWC, because of the requirement now, as of July 1, that all ESL classrooms are integrating EL Civics into their ESL instruction. So we wanted programs to have this option. So if you go into the PD portal and you use the global search option, you can type in Standards 3.0 and you will see the descriptions come up in the PD portal. And I want to stop here and see if there are any questions, because we're very excited about this. And Beth, if I missed anything, jump in here, please, or Krista, and let me know. But are there any questions? Let's go ahead and just pause for a minute. Okay, I don't see that there are any questions. And as I wrap this slide up, I just want to remind everybody, work with your assigned PD specialist to request this training. Oh, okay. So I have a question. Is this required for supervisors of ESL teachers? Heather, this is not required training. This is just training that we developed to support the rollout of the new standards. I would say that that's a question for your supervisor at your program. Beth, jump in if you need to.
Yeah, from our perspective and TWC's perspective, no, this is not required training.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you so much. Right. Well, if there's any other questions, we'll address them as they come in. And Olga, thank you so much.
Thank you, Anne Marie. All right, so let's continue with our next segment of monthly webinar series. And we're going to get, oh, Anne Marie, can you put the link in the chat for the 3.0?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We're doing that right now. As we continue, we'll go ahead and get started with Texas AEL Manager Monday. And our next session is July 12th, next week, coming up pretty quick here. And the topic is ability to benefit. And it's a part one. And our presenter is Dr. Mary Helen Martinez. So this session is going to discuss the federal criteria for student eligibility and describe how Alamo College's districts experience in implementing ATB for students. And the session is also going to address the critical steps of partnership between adult education and institutions of higher education in order to maximize the student success. So you don't want to miss it. It's a great way to find out how an how adult ed can partner with those community colleges to maximize that benefit for our students. All right. And coming up August 16th, which is next month, Ability to Benefit Part 2. So in this session, we're going to have Dr. Mary Helen Martinez. She is going to moderate the session, and we're going to have an adult education program out of San Antonio, Texas. It's Restore Education's Carrie Rhodes, and also the financial aid director at Alamo College District. She's going to be talking about how they work through that whole ability to benefit piece. So join us for part 2 also. It's going to be a good session. And then on September 13th, we're going to have interviewing and hiring potential staff by Dr. Danny Lovett, and he is the executive director from ESC Region 5. So we want to really thank him because we know how busy he is. So he's going to discuss how to determine exactly what you need and how to develop a candidate profile, how to post your job, including what documents to request for candidates, and how to make the application process as attractive and easy as possible. So a lot of good information shared here. And that's all I have. So we're going to go ahead and continue with Teacher Tuesday with Krista or Beth.
Hi. Okay, this is Krista. So our next Teacher Tuesday is July 13th, and this is on the Math Assistance Call Center with Chandra Joshi. So this is one of those resources that TWC provides for all of our students across the state, and it's one of the most underutilized. So please encourage your staff and your teachers to join this session so we can spread the word and get our students the math help that they need, especially after hours. So July 13th from 12 to 1, and registration is available. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you so much, Krista. So I'll go ahead and continue with Workforce Wednesday. So our next Workforce Wednesday is July 21st, and we'll have Andrea Skipper. She's going to be talking about resume writing, the art of persuasion. So she'll be talking about how our students usually don't know where to start with their resumes, but we want to inspire them to look at it from a different perspective, from the employer perspective. So join us for that. We'll also have Andrea Skipper on August the 18th. She's going to be talking about making sense of career pathways. So introducing the aspect of lessons on credit and budgeting and how we can help our students in terms of when they start earning more, being more financially literate in terms of their money. And then on September 22nd, we will have Victoria Hinojosa and Jasmine Grabowski with Gulf Coast Workforce Solutions. And they're going to be continue talking about, because this is a part 2, developing your EQ superpower part 2. They're going to continue talking about honing your emotional intelligence by utilizing the ruler method developed by Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence. So if you haven't seen part 1, it's in the PD portal for you to watch. And then you can continue with the learning on the emotional intelligence during part 2. So join us for that, and registration is available in the PD portal. Future dates are October 27th, November 17th, and December 15th. So if you're interested in any of the Workforce Wednesday, just search Workforce Wednesday in the PD portal. And we'll go ahead and transition to Anne Marie with Tech Intel.
Thank you again. Thank you so much, Olga. And so for July, we have a webinar coming up, a Tech and Tell webinar coming up, and we only have one in July. And just as a reminder, some months we will have 2 Tech and Tell webinars and some months we will not. This month we do have just one, but it's the latest in a series of Tech and Tells on Padlet by Meryl Redfern from Dallas College. So on July 30th, Meryl will be back to discuss and share how to use Padlet with mastering math concepts. And Meryl has a great background with integrating technology in the classroom. And so I'm excited to have her back for the 3rd Padlet. So teachers very soon can have the option of attending 3 different recorded webinars in the portal on Padlet, this one on math. So next slide. In August, the Tech and Tell webinar series will be welcoming a brand new presenter. And this will be Stella Villa from Grayson College. And she's going to present on August 13th and August 27th. And she's going to be discussing ReadWorks Revisited. So I want to stop for just a quick second and ask all of you, how often do you use ReadWorks or know that your teachers use ReadWorks? And have they been there lately to the ReadWorks site? Just drop some comments in the chat pod real quick. Are your teachers using it on a regular basis? And how about recently? Just real quick, let's see. I'm just curious. Not used. Oh my gosh, Heather. Okay. All right. So Tiffany, there are a lot of new bells and whistles. Oh my goodness. So ReadWorks is free. There's a lot of bells and whistles that they've just added, lots of supports for ESL. And so I would encourage you to think about having your teachers attend these, because we last had a ReadWorks session about 3 years ago on the Tech and Tells, and this is a wonderful resource. And they also very much like Common Lit, so it's 2 different things. So again, August 13th is part 1. August 27th is part 2, and they are 90-minute sessions. So it's 3 hours of lit PD right there. So I'm excited that Stella will be coming to do this. All right, next slide. We also have 2 upcoming Tech and Tell, September 10th and September 17th. And registration will be in the portal soon. And next month, I'll talk about who the presenter is. And I'm planning October and November dates right now. So stay tuned in August. Thanks, Olga.
Thank you, Anne Marie. So we did want to mention, if you or a staff member have any ideas or recommendations for future sessions or are interested in providing a session, please contact myself for Texas AEL Manager Monday or Workforce Wednesday, Krista Mosher for Teacher Tuesday, and Anne Marie for Tech and Tell. We know there's a lot of talent throughout the state, and you have a lot of awesome things going on in your programs, and we really want y'all to share. So email us, contact us for that. All right. Any questions at this time? Super quiet. So I'll give y'all another minute, because I know that sometimes we kind of get a little frightened with quiet time. But any questions? I know that once I transition, we're going to have some questions pop up. That's the way it always happens. But I'll give you one more second or 2. And then we'll go ahead and continue. All right. So we're going to go ahead and continue with assessment trainings, BEST Plus 2.0, BEST Literacy, CASAS, TABE Class E, and TABE 1112, whatever might apply in this section. And we'll go ahead and get started with Robin Booth. Robin?
Oh, thank you, Olga. Good afternoon, everybody. I am pleased to announce that we have 3 assessment events coming up that I would like to tell you about today. The first one's coming up just next week. It's the Best Literacy TOT, and we still have a few seats available if you have participants who would like to attend. It is scheduled for next Wednesday and Thursday. That's July 14th and 15th. And they're afternoon sessions. You have to attend both days from 1 to 4. And in addition to attending the TOT on Wednesday and Thursday, participants will also need to attend a materials and tech check, which is the day before. PD coordinators must register the participants in the PD portal. And all participants must need a copy of the Best Literacy Test Manual. There's a picture of it there on the screen. It's the one that you will use as you administer the test, or at least score the test. And please note that while the TOT is being conducted virtually via Zoom, Best Literacy has not been approved for remote administration, so it's still a face-to-face test. We've only got approval from Cal to deliver the training remotely, so that's a very important distinction there. So please sign up if you have PD coordinators. Please sign up your participants if you would like for them to attend. Again, we have a few seats available. Okay, the next slide, please, Miss Olga.
Robin, there is a question. The literacy manual has not been updated. Is that correct?
That is correct. I believe it's 2008. Is that what it says there on the front?
June 2008.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one. That's the one we use.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And the other 2 events that I'd like to tell you about are test administrator training. We have a Best Plus 2.0 test administrator training coming up July 21st and 22nd. Again, they're afternoon sessions. You have to attend both days. Registration is available now, but you might want to hurry on over and register for that because we only have just a few seats available. And we also have the Texas Style TABE 1112 online that is going to be offered on the afternoon of August the 6th, and registration is available now for that. PD coordinators must register their participants. Both trainings will be offered via Zoom, and registration, like I said, is open. Now, if you're going to attend the Best Plus 2.0, participants will need a new test administrator guide. That's called a tag. We refer to it as a tag, but it's a test administrator guide. It needs to be new, not one that's been used. And you'll also need to have the Best Plus 2.0 software loaded on the computers. So they'll need both of those items to attend this session. And the materials for the Texas Style TABE will be provided for participants. And prior to each one of these trainings will be a materials and tech check. Well, student or participants will have to demonstrate that they do have the technology skills and also the materials needed to participate in the trainings the next day. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or Tracy Hendricks, and we'll be happy to help you with those.
There is a question. The TABE online is for the online system. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
We will be using the DRC Portal Insight website, and we'll be going, the training deals with how to manipulate that and use it to establish test sessions and register students and teachers and so forth. So thank you for that question.
Thank you, Robin. All right.
Right,
So at
thank you.
this time, we'll take any additional questions that you may have before we transition to information about new courses. So any questions, any lingering questions that you might have, we'll go ahead and take them at this time. So we have, it says, when will the Standards 3.0 training be on the PD portal? I'm not seeing it.
Susan, this is Anne Marie. If you go into the PD portal and you do a global search, you can go in and find the titles and you can see what the titles are. I think that's what you're asking, correct? But you can actually also request them through your PD specialist, a trained PD, your trained PD specialist. So you go into the PD portal and you can do a global search and type in the standards 3.0 and the 3 different options will show up. Does that help? I hope that's what you're asking.
So just information about the sessions is there, correct? So that you could get that and request
Yes.
it. It's not that you could
Yes.
take it online. It's that you can look at the information, correct?
That's correct. Thank you so much, Olga. These are not courses in the PD portal, Susan. These are trainings that are available as a face-to-face instructor-led training or an actual, virtual webinar type training.
Thank you. Thank you for the questions. Any other questions before we continue? Okay, she said that's what I am asking. Thank you. Thank you, Susan. All right, we'll go ahead and continue with Katie, and Katie's going to talk about new courses.
Howdy, everybody. We have 3 new courses that have been published in the PD portal this month. Manager Monday, From Native Spanish Learner to GED Earner. Teacher Tuesday, Re-Energized and Re-Motivated Together. Please note that part 1 and part 2 are combined for this webinar just due to the length of each of the individual parts. And Workforce Wednesday, Students' Life Pathways, Contextualizing Student Learning and Engagement. If you missed the live sessions, please check these out in the PD portal. We also have several others that are still deep in the post-production process, so continue to watch for new courses populate under the New in the PD portal carousel on your Learner Home page.
Thank you, Katie, and I believe you have the next slide too.
Yes, I do. As you know, a few of our courses have to be updated yearly. The following courses are now available in the PD portal. We have Goal-Driven Learning Attunement, PII, and Understanding Principles of Adult Learning. Please also note that Goal-Driven Learning, which is typically worth our 3 hours, is only worth 2.25 hours at this time because there was an outdated webinar that had to be removed. So if and when the webinar is replaced and the course is updated, we will make sure to make an announcement.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to
Sure.
go ahead and the
I
next
have one
slide
more.
is, oh, is this you?
One
Oh,
more.
Katie. I don't know why
Well,
I was reading
I'm
Krista.
filling out-
My
I'm-
apologies.
I'm helping out Laura this week. So as of July 1st, certificates of completion will be generated for informational webinars completed in the PD portal. This is a new thing. Quick reminder, PD credit is not awarded for informational webinars. This is one of the reasons why we didn't have certificates issued in the past. So visual cues that a certificate of completion is for an informational webinar include the word informational in parentheses at the end of the webinar title. You can see there on the screen. PD hours will be blank because there's no PD hours awarded, and PD category will also be blank. Now, although certificates of completion will now be generated in the PD portal for informational webinars, they will not be entered into Teams. So please keep that in mind. And I think that's all I have for you, Olga.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue to Teams announcements. And this is Beth?
This is Beth for Laura. Just a heads up for everyone, all those wonderful courses that Katie was just talking about, that we find recorded in the PD portal or as an online course or curriculum in the PD portal have to be re-entered into Teams every year. And so that's going to take us a little bit of time. So just a heads up, if you take a course in the PD portal and you don't see it in Teams, we are working on it. They have got Teams open up for this fiscal year. So now that that's opened, we can start entering them. but I checked a little bit ago, and that's about 180 different titles that we have to have. TCall staff have to enter into Teams. So we are working on it, but give us just a little bit, okay? And I don't know, is the next one me too? Tracy's losing her voice, so I will go ahead and take this one too. And just let you know, again, this is kind of that reminder that we keep letting you know that we will be entering all of Taylor and Literacy Texas sessions into Teams for you. There is the spreadsheet that you guys use to send to your PD specialist, or you can send it directly to Tracy or myself. For any national conferences, the World Ed, Links, COABE, all of those things, you complete that spreadsheet and send it to us, and we'll get all that entered into Teams for you. And that's all I had. So are there questions about any of that?
Any questions? We'll give you a moment if you want to type away.
I'm not seeing anything yet, Miss Olga.
Yeah, nothing yet. Okay. Well, if you have questions, keep on typing and do submit. We're going to go ahead and move on. And it is now PD coordinator time. So it's either Krista or Beth, and Krista is here. Okay, go ahead, Krista.
Hi. Okay. Is there another slide after this? I think I have something to talk. Okay. Yes, I thought I did. Okay. So this is a question for all of you. Now that HiSET is no longer available in Texas, we're just kind of doing a very informal survey about if you think you'll be requesting more GED training this year or not. And that may be just something you want to think about, and you can drop me an email with some answers. We have quite a bit of GED training, but it's been kind of sitting on the shelf and getting a little dusty. So we just kind of want to know if programs might be wanting some more and updated of that. So just let us know so that we can be getting prepared and getting ready for GED training. Okay, thank you, Heather. Refreshers would be nice. Yes. Okay, good. All right. That's excellent feedback. And like I said, we've got it. We just haven't used it in a while. When HiSET kind of came in, people shied away from GED specific training. So we want to make sure we're giving and having things available for our programs. So I will definitely start working on getting that up to date. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm seeing all the
There's
yeses.
a lot of yeses. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, very good. Well, I will keep that in mind and we'll get that going for you. All right. Next slide. Okay, so PD coordinator time. Is there any questions? Is there anything that you want to know? I know we've got some new PD coordinators here today, and maybe some new other administrators that are trying, getting their feet wet here. So is there any questions that you have that we can talk about? We're early, so we have plenty of time. So I will be quiet and let you put things in the chat pod.
Even if there's maybe some other type of topics, right, that you would
Right,
like to
yes.
see presented, or that your program would be interested in seeing presented, type those in the chat. It's always good to know what other things that you may need for your area. So please do let us
Exactly.
know. This is your time to share and to provide us with very, very important feedback. So we thank you for sharing. Giselle said, maybe a refresher guides practice on how to run reports on the PD portal.
Okay, that's
Katie?
excellent, Giselle, and that's actually going to be probably one of the things that we discuss at the PD coordinator session at the Fall Institute. So make sure that you fill out that survey and let us know that that's one of your top things. And then Katie has a Wakelet and running report PDF that has all of that information on it.
Thank you, Krista. And do we want to place that link in the chat again for the survey?
For the survey.
I think that would be good. And Mauro says the sessions you wanted from us at the start of this session, were they for the AL Fall Institute?
Yes, but remember that anything that you do like that for a survey, even though it says it's specifically for Fall Institute, if we see that there is a theme that there are a lot of people want, or, you know, we keep that in mind for future content development as well. So that's another reason for that survey.
And Katie just put a link in the chat. Katie, do you want to talk about that link?
I just put 2 links in there. One of them was for Giselle. I know we have her under Grayson, I believe. So that one would go towards our smaller consortia. And then I posted another one that has a PDF, and it's just basic step-by-step with screenshots that's specific to our larger consortium. So like Region 20, ELCOT, Dallas, HGAC, things like that. So I just wanted to put that out there that we do have those resources. So if you need them right away, they are there for you right now.
Thank you, Katie. And Beth says, if you're brand new, your assigned TCAL PD specialist is here to support you. We can always answer questions offline. So yes. And Heather says, I asked last month as well, it would be wonderful, if TWC would allow the reports to count as documentation for PD rather than the individual certificates.
And yes, Heather, I still have that question. I have not had a chance to get it to Lori, but I will definitely do that, especially now that we're in the new fiscal year. So I will definitely get to Lori and find out about that. And I apologize for the delay.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it back up, though.
Yeah,
we appreciate that. All right. Any other questions? We still have plenty of time. And now is your time. So if you don't feel comfortable typing, I believe that you are more than welcome to unmute. Just raise your hand and we can call on you. And Mariela says, thank you for the last link, Katie, on the PD coordinator resources. All right. Krista, I'm going to go ahead and advance and maybe we'll get some more questions.
Okay. So our next PD coordinator webinar will be August 12th, same place, same time. And I will be sending out a reminder that week. So we'll see you August 12th.
And then are there any last minute questions? So as we come to the end of our PD coordinator meeting, monthly meeting, are there any last minute questions? So while you're typing, we just want to thank you for joining us today. And again, the next meeting is August 12th. And we do have a question. Heather said, who should we email to have someone added to these webinars?
That would be me. Send the email address and the position title to Katie Mosier at TAMU. I'll put it in the chat pod. But yeah, if you need somebody added, just send that information to me and I'll make sure that it happens. But I do need to know their name, email address, and position.
Okay, and then we had a question from, it says, we can assign new teachers now to the new courses, PII, goal setting, etc.
Yes. You're good to go.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, and everybody has, we have Krista's email address in here a couple of times, and Heather says thank you. All right, any other questions? Thank you all so much. Y'all are always great. We appreciate the questions. We appreciate the feedback because that's how we're able to provide what we need throughout the state for professional development. So we want to hear from you, and we appreciate any feedback or requests that you make because that helps us help our programs throughout the state. So thank you, everybody. And we'll remain on. If you have any other questions, please type them in the chat. But thank you for joining us today.